be screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 10th part of, What If Danny Phantom Meets Hazbin Hotel? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Night had fallen around Amity Park. A store called 24K Jewelry Store was closed, but it wasn't empty. Some of the jewelry floated away, making Danny stick his head in. And I thought the merchandise is flying off the shelves is just an expression. He said, flying in before blasting them. He was surprised to see 4 ghosts appear, 2 males and 2 females. Whoa! Who are you guys? He asked. The small one, which looked like a dwarf, jumped on Danny's head, pulling his mouth before covering his eyes. Hey! I'm not a hat person. Especially if the hat is a dwarf. Danny said, throwing the dwarf off. It crashed into a display case showing the alarm. Danny grew worried and tried to leave. Only to be stopped by the second male ghost, who was much larger. Okay, all things considered, maybe the tiny hat guy was better. He said before he was grabbed. It threw him toward the other female ghost before it stretched herself across 2 columns, making him slingshot across the room. Danny was able to open his eyes and saw the other female ghost remove her cloak before setting her tattoos on him. I just had to pick the short straw. Danny groans as he was attacked. The 4 ghosts watch, thinking they had him beaten only for Danny to power up and blast the tattoos off him. The tattoos crash into the other ghosts as Danny floats about them. You know, it's ghosts like you that give ghosts like me a bad name. He said, reaching for his thermos. A siren was heard along with a police car pulling up. The ghosts dropped the jewelry before phasing through the roof. Danny was buried in it as the 2 cops entered the room. He was able to pull his head free, wearing some of the jewelry. Freeze invisible. One of the cops said. What does everyone call me that? I already told the town to call me Phantom. Danny groans before phasing through the floor, leaving the jewelry behind. The 2 cops ran up, seeing that he got away. Hey! Want to take this stuff and blame the ghost kid? The partner asked. You're under arrest. The first cop said, sighing. All Morningstar Mansion. Charlie awoke to the sound of Kiki purring as Razzle and Dazzle grabbed her fresh clean clothes. She smiled and got ready for the day. Her spring break was great. Not only did her mom visit again, but she invited her dad to join them and they had fun. She also recalled the legend that Danny told her about and was quite surprised to learn that it spoke about her, him, and Emily. They all agreed that they would never use any form of power to reshape the world. She headed downstairs to see her father getting breakfast ready. Hello, Charlie. Nice to see you up. He said, smiling. I take it that Mom really brightened your day. Like a morning star. Charlie giggles. Lucifer laughs, getting her joke. They sat down before starting to eat. Top news for the day. They turned to see Tiffany Snow on the TV before seeing the image of Danny in his ghost form as the main highlight. The ghost boy, Invisible, was sighted last night in the 24K jewelry story, with the police saying that the so-called hero was stealing the jewelry. Ugh, again? Charlie asked, groaning. Even with her and Emily helping out, it was clear that every adult blames Danny's ghost form for everything. And they seemed to ignore that Danny already told them his ghost name and that he was here to help. And yet, The town fails to understand they can't just blame him because he was a ghost. Really? Why in the world would they think that the ghost boy is stealing? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Lucifer asked, not believing this either. Charlie shook her head. It was clear that this town really needed to clean up its act. The doorbell rings and Lucifer stands up. He answered it and smiled. "Ah, Daniel. Come on in," he said, letting him inside. "Hey, Charlie," Danny said, waving at his friend. "Morning, Danny," she said, knowing they could talk about last night later. "You're just in time for breakfast. Want some of my world-famous apple pancakes?" Lucifer asked him. "Sure, but can I take it to go? I came to pick up Charlie for school," Danny asked. "Sure. I'll be right back," Lucifer said, heading towards his kitchen. Once they were alone, Charlie looked at Danny before asking her question. "What happened last night?" "It's a bit of a story. Let's wait until we get Emily before I tell you," Danny said, making her nod. Suddenly the TV played a new ad, showing a pale-skinned male wearing black ringmaster clothes and holding a staff. "I am Freakshow, ringmaster of the Circus Gothica." Both Danny and Charlie looked at the ad as they showed strange and creepy performers. "Where your nightmares come alive. Circus Gothica, where the clowns never smile," he said before holding up his staff. "Circus Gothica. Come and get your freak on, with real freaks. Circus Gothica. Coming to Amity Park. Cross over, to the dark side," he said, making Danny look at the staff. "Cross over to the dark side," Danny repeated in a trance-like state. The TV then turns off as Lucifer shakes his head. "I swear, some people just want to be knockoffs from my circus days," he said, thinking about the old days. "Danny? Are you okay?" Charlie asked, seeing him standing there. "Cross over to the dark side," he said, making both Morningstars worried. "Danny? Earth to Danny," Charlie said, shaking him. "What? Sorry, Charlie, musta got a little spacey. I was up pretty late last night," Danny said, snapping out of it. Charlie sighs, wondering what that was about. "Here you are, Daniel. And I packed some for Emily as well," Lucifer said, handing the bag to him. "Thanks, Mr. Morningstar," Danny said, taking it. "Well, off to school you two. Don't be late," Lucifer said, making the two teens nod. Once they left, Lucifer pulled out his phone and called Sarah. Later, after Emily joined them, Danny explained what happened last night, making his female friend sigh. "We saw the news. Why does everyone think you're to blame for every attack?" Emily asked. "And why do they call you that name?" Charlie asked. "I really don't know. Sometimes I wish that my parents weren't so, Danny said, trying to find the words. "Self-absorbed into their work," Charlie said. "Don't understand they are wrong and don't want to be corrected," Emily added. "Look, Danny, we like your parents, but this mistreatment has gone on long enough," Charlie said. "Yeah, what right do they have to say that ghosts are evil? What's their proof?" Emily added. "Girls, we tried, remember? Mom and Dad think we're just teens who have no idea what ghosts truly are. They even laugh at the idea of there being good ghosts," Danny told them. Charlie and Emily groaned. They recalled that meeting and couldn't believe what Mr. and Mrs. Fenton's laughed at what they said. Danny's ghost sense appeared and he spotted the same dwarf ghost from last night. "Hey! That's one of the ghosts that robbed the jewelry store," he said, pointing. "Well, this time you have backup," Charlie said, pulling out her apple. "Let's clear your name and stop that ghost," Emily said, making her headband turn into a halo. Danny sighs before standing in between them. We're going heroes. They shouted. Charlie bit into her apple, feeling her hellfire burst around her. She became a black silhouette that showed horns and a tail before a fond smile appeared. When the fire broke away, Charlie stood as Charlotte Mange, the demon girl of Amity Park. Emily was wrapped in a cocoon of light before another black silhouette appeared, showing 6 wings around her head before it turned into hair as 6 wings appeared out of her back. The light faded away as Emily stood as Serenity, the angel girl of Amity Park. A white ring appeared around Danny, splitting into 2. His normal clothes were replaced with a black and white jumpsuit as his hair turned snow white. His eyes flashed green as he stood ready as Danny Phantom, the ghost boy of Amity Park. Question, Emily asked, making her friends turn to her. Are we really going to use that cry as a team? She asked. I think this was the first time we did something like that, Charlie said. Another thing we need to work on. Danny sighs before picking up Charlie. After we stop that ghost. He added, flying after it with Emily following him. The Trinity flew through the air, catching up with the dwarf ghost. They also noticed the police down below, chasing them. At least they're doing their jobs, Charlie said. They flew around the ghost, forcing it to stop. Opening a new bank account. Don't forget your free toaster. Danny said, blasting the sack out of the ghost's hand. Emily tried to catch it, but she missed and it landed on the police car, making the officer crash. Curse you, ghost kid! He shouted. Great! More fans! Danny groans. That was more of my fault, Emily said, knowing it was her fault that the cop crashed. Let's both take the blame, Emily, Danny said, sighing. Guys! It's getting away! Charlie shouted, pointing. They quickly chased after the ghosts, finding what looked to be a circus in the middle of town and tons of goths around it. Wow, Emily said, surprised at how many goths she saw. Terrific. The crooks got away, were late for school, and, I've never seen so many goths out in broad daylight. Danny said, looking around. Huh, it reminds me of my goth days. Charlie, making Danny look at her. You were a goth? He asked. It was a phase. I just woke up one morning and went goth. I was like that for almost a year before I became my normal self again. Charlie told him. Danny asked, looking at her. Yeah. I was worried about her when she appeared like that. Glad it didn't stick around. Emily said, nodding. Huh, I wonder what Charlie looked like as a goth. Danny couldn't help but ask. Before Charlie could explain, they heard the sirens making them sigh. Come on, Emily said, flying back down. Danny followed her and they all hid behind a drum set, charging back to their normal selves. They all started to act like normal teenagers as the cops raced past them. Once they were gone, Charlie sighed. I know they're doing their job, but how will they arrest a ghost? Charlie asked. Yeah, they could just easily slip off of the cuffs ease and even phase out of the car, Emily added. Let's worry about that later, first we need to explain why we're late to school. Danny started before someone else spoke. Well, look who decided to slum it with the troubled teens. They turned and saw Sam walking up to them, surprising them. Sam. What are you, actually, never mind. We know why. Emily said, shaking her head. So, what brings a couple of non-goths to the Circus Gothica? Sam asked. Well, Charlie did mention that seeing this many reminds her of the days that she went goth, Danny said, still surprised by that. Wait. Miss Cheerful was a goth? Sam asked. Yeah, and I have a picture, Charlie said, pulling out her phone. Sure enough, the girl they saw looked nothing like the one in front of them. She had a black dress, a bang of her blonde hair turned black, and horns on her head. Wow, Danny said, surprised. I'll admit the horns were a nice touch, Sam said, impressed. Had to remove them whenever I was outside, but I still had no idea why I went goth, Charlie said, putting her phone away. Did it change anything between you two? Danny asked. Not really. Besides being dark and depressing, Charlie really didn't change that much. Emily said. Huh, Danny said, thinking. Greetings, fellow outcasts. Everyone turned and saw the same man from the TV step out, holding a staff. I am Freakshow, your MSTR of ceremonies. Are you ready to smile, relax, and forget all your troubles amid the pleasant diversions of the circus? He asked the crowd. No. The goths shouted. Then you've come to the right place. Prepare to be disturbed and appalled by a small sample of the bizarre and abnormal world of Circus Gothica. He said, letting his performers appear out of his train. As everyone watched, Danny felt himself looking at the staff again and felt something take hold of his mind once more. However, it was broken when another voice spoke up. Parents of Amity Park. They all turned and saw Sam's parents. We urge you to boycott this morbid assault on the morals of our children. Sam's mother said. Ugh, and they wonder why Sarah refuses to hire them. Emily groans. What are they doing here? Why can't they have day jobs like regular parents? Sam shouted. Do they even have day jobs? Charlie asked her. No. Sam groans. Freakshow then steps on a crate, speaking to the crowd. Don't let the rantings of the closed-minded norms beat you down. Show them your true colors. And when I say colors, I mean all black. Make them see you for who you are. He said, making Danny look at his staff again. Make them see us for who we are. Danny repeated, his eyes turning red. Danny? Are you okay? Emily asked, making the other two look at him. Hey everyone. Over here. We're Danny Fenton, charliemorningstar, Emily Seraphim, and Sam Manson. We cut school and we're proud of it. Danny said, surprising the three. Danny? What are you doing? Charlie asked, shocked. The goth cheered before one of them spray-painted his shirt black. You one of us now. He said. What did you two do to him? Sam asked. Don't start blaming us for this, Sam. Danny acted a bit like this when he came to pick me up for school. Charlie told her. What? Sam asked, more shocked on Danny picking up Charlie. Sam. Her parents said, spotted her. Sam groans as Charlie and Emily sighs. Casper High. The 4 teens sat in the principal's office with their parents. Some might call this little act of rebellion a cry for attention, but I call it a cry for detention. Isn't that clever? She said, laughing a bit. Sam groaned again as she turned to Danny. Nice job, Danny. She said. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me back there. Danny said, making Charlie and Emily look at him with worry. Bad judgment, that's what. Next time, think before you act. Jack said, glaring. Now, Jack. I may not like the idea of my daughter skipping school, but if there's one thing I learned, there are always 2 sides to the story. Lucifer told him. I guess you're right, Jack said, thinking. However, a small gun on Jack's arm engages and squirts ecto goo all over the Mansons, surprising them. Obviously, the apple doesn't fall very far from the overbearing, orange jumpsuited tree. Sam's mother shouted. You got a problem with jumpsuits? Jack shouted before Maddie stopped him. Jack, let me handle this. You got a problem with jumpsuits? She said before shouting as well. Maddie, Pamela, that's enough, Sarah said, stopping them. Emily, what happened out there? I know this isn't like you. She asked. Well, we were on our way to school when we saw that new circus that the ad played this morning, Emily said. Seeing so many goths made me remember the time I went goth and was explaining to Danny, Charlie added, surprising Sam's parents. And before you ask, yes, I was aware of it. I was very glad it was nothing more than a phase. Lucifer told them. We were about to continue when we ran into Sam. Then Freakshow appeared and started to show what his circus was about. Emily said. That's when Sam's parents showed up, trying to pretty much break up the goths, Charlie added. Sarah turned to the mansions, shaking her head. How many times do I have to tell you, stop trying to have your way? You cannot change anyone just because you don't like it. She told them, glaring. It's that boy that causing all the trouble. You shouldn't be letting her daughter hang around him. Jemery said. First of all, Emily is not my daughter. She belongs to a friend of mine who asked me to watch over her. Sarah told them. And second of all, Daniel is my best friend. I don't care if he's not rich. We turned him from a dark path and welcomed him into our group. Emily added. Even I'm quite fond of the boy, Lucifer added. So, don't you dare blame Danny or his family for anything. Charlie threw in. The mansions knew they were outnumbered and held back their tongues. Danny looked at his friends and smiled. But they were still in trouble. Circus Gothica Fairgrounds. Slaves. Center ring. Freakshow ordered. The 4 ghosts that Danny fought the night before appeared, making him smirk as he held up the staff. For generations, my family has controlled ghosts with this untold power, and all they could think to do was to entertain the masses, whereas I have found a much more profitable use for you minions. He said before turning to the mass of gold and jewels he had stolen over the years. And as soon as the newest member of our cast joins us, this entire town will be mine for the taking. He laughs as the orb shows the face of Danny Phantom. Danny, Charlie, Emily, Sam, and Tucker, who was busted for cross-dressing, all sat in the detention. Sam tried to get Danny to sit between them, but he still sat between Charlie and Emily. She then looked at her ticket and sighed. I wanted to experience something horrific and unimaginable. She said before seeing Mr. Lancer clip his toenails. This is not what I had in mind. She added. Does he have to do that now? Emily asked. We can always go to the circus tomorrow. That is, assuming we're not grounded. Danny said. I think both Dad and Sarah are willing to give us a warning this time. I mean, we weren't planning to skip school. Charlie said. Charlie, skipping school is a terrible idea. And next time, don't make me cross-dress as you. Tucker said before turning to Sam. I paid you, didn't I? Sam asked him. At least she's not blaming us, Emily said. And that Mr. Lancer is aware that she needs to be away from us, Charlie added. So, do you girls have anything planned for tomorrow? Danny asked, using it as code that he wanted to find those ghosts. Not really. My dad is going to be busy with some of his business partners. Some of them did try to bankrupt us. Charlie said, rolling her eyes. And Sarah is trying to get everyone to stop blaming Phantom for many faults just because Mr. and Mrs. Fenton think ghosts are evil, Emily said. Danny blinked, a bit surprised. Guess we'll have to settle for the live webcast of opening night, Tucker said, hiding his PDA behind a book. He also turned it down so Mr. Lancer wouldn't hear it. Creatures of the night, unleash your dark side at Circus Gothica. Freakshow said, making Danny go into a trance. Unleash your dark side at Circus Gothica. He repeated, getting up. Danny? Charlie asked, seeing him walk towards the door. And just where do you think you're going, Mr. Fenton? Mr. Lancer asked. Danny's eyes turned red before he smiled. He then overshadows Mr. Lancer, shocking everyone. Unleash your dark side at Circus Gothica. He repeated, having Mr. Lancer walk into a janitor's closet. He phased back out and locked the door. Cask of Amontillado. Let me out, let me out. Mr. Lancer shouted, banging on the door. "Danny? What are you doing?" Charlie shouted, surprised that used his powers in front of Tucker and Sam. "We're in too much trouble as it is," Emily added. "No such thing as too much trouble. Unleash your dark side at Circus Gothica," he said, phasing through the ceiling. "What's gotten into him?" Charlie asked, worried. "We better follow him," Emily said, making her nod. "Not without us," Sam said, stepping up. "Sam." Tucker groans. "First, we know about your powers. Second, I knew there was something off about the two of you. This is why Danny is better to be friends with us," Sam said. "First, you need to stop that, Sam. Stop trying to use weird things as proof that we shouldn't be friends," Charlie started. "And second, what do you mean you know about our powers?" Emily finished. "We, saw you three transform into the Protectors a few months ago," Tucker said, nervous. Seeing that they knew. Charlie and Emily sighed. Charlie pulled out her apple as Emily let the halo appear above their head. They soon turned into their hero forms before Charlie whistled. Soon, Razzle and Dazzle appear, bowing to their MSTRS. "You call," they said. "Wow, it seems you're getting better at having them listen," Emily said. "Not without trial and error," Charlie said, making Sam look at her. "Don't even try. Razzle and Dazzle were some dolls that I brought to life. I called them here because Emily can't carry the three of us," she said. "Wait, you don't have wings?" Tucker asked. Charlie turned away, trying not to let that bug her. "We can worry about it later. Come on, we need to see what's wrong with Danny," Emily said, making Charlie nod. They ran outside and Charlie had Razzle and Dazzle turned into their full demon forms, shocking Sam and Tucker. After having them get on Razzle and Dazzle, Charlie wrapped her arm around Emily's shoulder before they all flew into the air. Later, Charlie and Emily explain how they got their powers and why they were using them to help others. Tucker was surprised as Sam looked unimpressed. "So, an apple and a headband gave you powers? Kinda far-fetched," Sam said, making the girls turn to her. "Oh, but you believe how Danny got his powers," Emily said, annoyed. "Hey, his parents are ghost hunters. Granted, I wouldn't have expected them to actually succeed in making a portal to another dimension. And how do I know you two didn't trick him into going into the portal?" Sam pointed out before asking. "Did you ignore the fact we weren't there, or were you just not paying attention?" Charlie shouted, her eyes glowing red. "What happened if you were there? Would you have stopped him or dared him to go in?" she challenged. Sam opened her mouth but stopped. She rethought her answer and groaned. Okay. I'm sorry, geez," Sam said, also hearing Razzle and Dazzle growl at her. They soon saw the Circus Gothica, making them land. There is where those ghosts have disappeared the other day," Charlie said. "But why would Danny come here?" Tucker asked. "No idea, let's spit up," Emily said. "Any idea how to get in?" Charlie asked. "I can think of a way," Sam said, smirking. Inside the tent. "Please welcome a performer who puts the death in death-defying acts, the Grim Reaper himself," Freakshow said, making a cloaked figure appear on a wire. It floated across the wire, surprising everyone before it balanced on its side, making the goths cheer. Meanwhile, Sam and Charlie enter the tent. Charlie dresses as her old goth, or emo as she heard it was called, herself. "I can't believe you convinced me to wear this again. I look ridiculous," she said, groaning. "Seriously, why did I ever go goth in the first place?" she thought. "Oh, it's not that bad. I think you actually look better than you singing about, inside of every demon is a rainbow. Which, quite frankly, I think is kind of stupid," Sam said, making Charlie glare at her. "And why is that stupid?" Charlie asked, trying to growl. "Well, because demons are horrendous vicious monsters with no mercy and don't help dash," Sam started before spotting Charlie glaring as her eyes flicked to red for a second. "Shutting up now," she said, remembering that Charlie could turn into a demon as well. "At least Danny understands what I'm trying to say," Charlie said, turning away from her. "What are you two doing back here?" They both turned and saw Freakshow walking up to them, surprising Sam and Charlie. "Whoa! Freakshow! This is so cool!" Sam said, excited. "Focus!" Charlie told her before turning to him. We're looking for a friend of ours who was acting kinda weird," Charlie said. "Oh, that narrows it down to, everyone in this tent." JJW. Freakshow laughs. He's right. Charlie thought, knowing this would be harder than it looks. Suddenly the Grim Reaper walked up, stopping in front of them. "What are you doing, dolt? Get back out there and do your encore!" Freakshow shouted. Sam. Charlie. Both girls were surprised to see that figure pulled down its hood, showing Danny's face. "Danny?" Charlie shouted, surprised. "What's that? Was that free will? Obey me, minion!" Freakshow shouted, holding his staff higher. Charlie was surprised to see that the staff was forcing Danny into obeying Freakshow, and she quickly took out her apple and bit into it. "What? You're controlling him?" Sam said, shocked. "Get her," Freakshow said, making Danny bring the scythe down on her. However, it was caught by Charlie, who stood in her hero form. "Sam! Run!" she said, forcing the blade back. "What's it this? And why isn't my staff working?" Freakshow asked, confused. "Because I'm not a ghost. I'm a demon," Charlie told him, getting ready to jump on him. She was surprised to see Danny get in her way before they both rolled out onto the stage. The goths were surprised and noticed that the new performer looked very different and started to boo. Charlie paid no mind. She was busy dodging the scythe that Danny was swinging at her. "Don't make me do this, Phantom," Charlie said, backflipping away from him. He flew at her, making Charlie jump up and grab the 2 rings that were hanging. She saw Danny come at her again and flip herself upside down, making Danny fly past her. She saw him turn around, looking to slash her legs before she split them. Many goth boys flinched at that as the goth girls started to cheer. Charlie then flips around, kicking Danny in the chin, knocking him away. Charlie jumped off the rings, flipping in the air as a ball before landing on her feet, holding her arms up and smiling. Cheers were heard as Freakshow looked surprised. "Not bad," he said. Charlie opens her eyes to Danny changing at her getting ready to swing the blade. She quickly bends backward, seeing a string of her hair get cut a few inches. Charlie bends back up, hearing the cheers again. "How does she do that?" Freakshow asked, impressed. Charlie backflips a few times, dodging Danny's swings, making more cheers. She finally stopped on top of a stack of boxes, looking down at her friend. "Come on, Danny. This isn't you." She tried, but Danny slashed the boxes to make her fall. Suddenly, she found herself being caught and looked up to see a man dressed like her father, but had 6 wings with red tips. "I see that you have the family blood in you after all," he said, putting her down. He saw Danny heading for them, already knowing what was going on and using his power to knock Danny back. "Ladies and gentlemen. Goths of all ages," he said, taking center stage. "I take it you all have no idea I am?" he asked, making the crowd go quiet. "Ah, but I'm very well known among many parents. Why, I used to run a circus of my own," he said, smiling. "Tell me, what do you like the most? Pride? Lust? Envy? Greed? wrath, sloth, gluttony. All 7. Well, you're in luck. Because I bring you, the 7 deadly sins. He shouted, causing the other 6 to appear. Charlie looked surprised before noticing Beelzebub winking at her. Soon enough, they started to take over Freakshow's show, shocking the man. The what? He shouted, shocked. Freakshow could hardly believe what he was seeing. He knew of that circus as his parents were one of many to go before he was born. The 7 deadly sins. That's impossible. He shouted. Haven't you heard at the circus the impossible is possible? I've been watching you, Frederick Isaac Schauenhauer. Oof, that's a mouthful. I think I'll just stick to Freakshow. Lucifer said, smiling. Thanks, Freakshow said, never liking his real name. But what are you here? He asked, making Lucifer smile. I just came to see the competition. And I gotta say, you could use a bit more colors. He said, hearing the boo from the crowd but paid no mind to them. Well, it seems my audience thinks otherwise, Freakshow said, smirking. After all, weird and strange things tend to attract people better than simple petty fleeting temptations. He added, making Lucifer smirk more. Oh. Is that a fact? He asked, getting closer, making Freakshow back up a bit. Well, I guess that's why your parents preferred the undead to the living. He said, making the sins behind him laugh, agreeing with him. Freakshow started to look nervous as if Lucifer was looking into his soul. There was always something otherworldly about his circus and he was beginning to see that everyone was right. Still, he tried to keep up a brave face. Well, yes. After all, when attracting the type of crowd I have, you gotta stick to your brand. He said, not seeing Lucifer's smile disappear after that. Oh. Does he think he can upstage me? Well, let's see how you like this. He thought. You know what, Freakshow? You're right. Lucifer said, surprising him. I am. He asked. But of course. After all, some people go to the circus for laughs, so why not give them a scare? Lucifer said, snapping his fingers. The area went dark for a second before the lights turned on. However, the stage had changed greatly. Many more strange and even scary creatures ran around, jumping at the crowd, one of the tired to swipe at a goth, making him jump into the closest person's arms. Many goths scream as more scary creatures appear as the sins join the chaos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. The scariest and horrific place on earth that'll make you wish for hell. Ha 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 ha. Lucifer laughs as fire burns around him, making him look like the devil. Only Sam didn't look impressed at the whole thing. Oh please. The horror movies I saw had better creativity. Sam said, crossing her arms. Lucifer turned to her, knowing Sam didn't understand what he truly was. Oh. Then why are you wearing a pink dress like one of the Japanese Lolita girls? He asked, pointing at her with a smirk. Sam looked down and saw she was wearing a bow-knot details / lace-up details / ruffle trim / smocked elastic at back ruffle hem pink and black contrast long-sleeve suite style dress, slim waist design, adorned with rose bow-knots, 3-layered skirt, side zipper, back smocked elastic and lace-up to adjust the waist and chest circumference, 2 ways to wear on the shoulders, with her signature small ponytail split into 2 small pigtails. Aha! She screams, making Lucifer smile. That's what you get for messing with my daughter, Samantha. Lucifer thought. Meanwhile, Charlie was still trying to get Danny to stop, but he was still under Freakshow's control. Come on, Danny. Fight it. This isn't you. She said, getting on the wire. Danny didn't say anything before he cut the wire, making Charlie fall. Before she could scream, Emily appeared and caught her. Charlie. Are you okay? Who is that? She asked, seeing the hooded figure. I'm fine, but we need to help Danny. Freak Show has him under mind control. Charlie said, pointing. What? Emily asked, surprised and confused. I'll explain later. Charlie said before seeing Danny fly off. CRP. We got to follow him. She said, making Emily nod. She quickly left the tent, seeing the parents protest and Sarah was with them. Only, she was mostly there to keep everyone in line. Are we late for the protest? Maddie asked as she and her husband stepped up. I brought the Fenton riot gear, Jack said, pulling out a large gun. It went off and destroyed the signs that the Mansons were carrying. What? I didn't invite them. Jeremy said, seeing his wife looking at him. Jack, Maddie, it's nice of you to want to help, but please. Remember this circus was made to entertain people. Sarah said, knowing that Lucifer was dealing with the circus his own way. Jack then notices Tucker and Sam, with Sam trying to remove her clothes. Hey, isn't Danny supposed to be with you? He asked. Not according to this restraining order, he's not, Pamela said, making Sarah glare. She knew unlike the actual restraining order that was against Sam, this one was just made to try and keep Danny away from Sam. In other words, the Mansons were trying to get their way again. First off, there's already a restraining order against your daughter, so don't bother trying to use it as your own. Sarah said, taking it away from them. Second, where's Emily? She asked, Tucker and Sam. No idea, Tucker said, due to the fact he got separated from her during their look for Danny. Maybe she flying with her head in the clouds, Sam whispers, but Sarah hears her. I can deal with her later. Wherever you are, Emily, I hope that you're safe. She thought. Across the town, Freak Show's ghosts were robbing another store, this time with Danny, who was decked in royal jewelry. Ectobutts in gear. He said, blast each ghost's butt. They all cried out before flying off, making Danny laugh. This party's just getting started. He said, laughing and following. They soon spotted the police and Danny scoffs. Please. He said, blasting the tires. The cars crash as Danny laughs and flies off. Charlie and Emily quickly rush up and help them, hearing the police saying that the ghost kid could not be trusted. And why is that? Because he suddenly started to steal from jewelry stores with no explanation given? Charlie asked. Mr. and Mrs. Fentons are wrong about ghosts. And you need to take a closer look at what you see. Emily added. With that, the girls headed off, leaving the confused policemen who shrug at each other. In the wake of parental protest, Circus Gothica ringmaster Freak Show had this challenge to his critics, Tiffany Snow said as she hosted the news. I invite you to attend a free performance for parents, police, and concerned authority figures. See the show and see for yourselves that we're harmless entertainment. He said as Lucifer stood behind him, making silly faces. In other news, police got a break in the recent rash of mysterious burglaries as security cam footage revealed the ghostly culprits, Tiffany added. The video showed Freak Show's ghosts and Danny robbing a store before Danny blasted it. The other two heroes seem to believe that their friend is under mind control, but the people of Amity Park believe that Fentons were right about ghosts, Tiffany said before a video of Sarah appeared. I wholeheartedly agreed with Charlotte and Serenity. It's not like for Phantom to suddenly make a 180 of his career in a single night. And not all ghosts are evil. You all need to start looking at the bigger picture. Sarah said. And finally, have you seen this out-of-shape teacher? Tiffany asked, showing an image of Mr. Lancer. He was last sighted in the Casper High School library. She was cut off as Charlie turned off her TV with both her and Emily walking around, looking worried. While both Charlie's father and Sarah learned they cut detention, they didn't bother punishing them because they knew they were worried about Danny. But they did have to keep up with appearances, so they grounded them. In the same room. We got to save Danny. Charlie said. But how? Emily asked, also worried about her friend. That staff. If we can get that staff away from Freak Show, we can free Danny. Charlie said. Again, how? You told me that he forced Daniel to attack and the last thing we both want is to hurt our friend. Emily said. I know. But you know that we can't let this happen. All of our hard work will be ruined if this keeps up. Charlie pointed out. Emily nodded, knowing they had to do something. Suddenly, Charlie's computer beeps before she opens a video of Tucker and Sam. Hey, girls, Tucker said, waving. Please tell me you have a plan to save Danny, Sam asked. So you can save him yourself? Charlie asked. And try to convince him that we abandon him, so he would cut ties with us. Emily added. What? No. Sam said, but neither girl believed her. In case you have forgotten, Sam. We're not friends. You have spent the whole time trying to drag Danny away from us because you think we're lying about what we really are. Charlie said, growling. Even after telling you the truth, you still act like we're the ones responsible for everything wrong with Danny. Emily added. No, I don't. Sam denied, but that caused Tucker to scoff. You were planning on blackmailing them to break them up, Sam. He pointed out, making both girls glare at her. You were going to what? They shouted, both of their eyes glowing. You deleted the video. Sam said, trying to shift the blame. Because I'm not a person who is trying to break up a group of friends because you can't accept that you're wrong. Tucker said, glaring. Sam, you're under house arrest, so don't even bother trying to sneak out, Charlie said. We'll save Danny. And we'll do it as his friends. Emily added. So we're going to tell you this once, Charlie said before girls got up into the computer screen, making themselves look bigger in Tucker's and Sam's computers. Stay out of this. They shouted before Charlie turned off her computer. Charlie and Emily sighed before looking at each other. She's going to try, isn't she? Emily asked. Yep, Charlie said, pulling out her apple. She really is a bee. Charlie said, taking a bite of her apple. Emily turned into her angel form before both girls headed for the Circus Gothica, ready to save their friend and clear his name. As Charlie and Emily headed to the circus, their families were already there with Sarah shaking her head at the Mansons. I'm keeping a detailed list of anything I find objectionable, immoral and obnoxious, Pamela said, holding up a list. They were both suddenly spit on by popcorn and soda from Jack, who sitting above him as Lucifer gave a small pat on the back. Slow down, Jack. He said, making sure he was okay. He on the list? Jeremy asked, glaring. Right now, he is the list, Pamela said, also glaring. While I'm unfortunately forced to agree with you, Pamela, Sarah said, taking some popcorn out of her hair. Jack quickly apologizes to her, not wanting things to get worse for their kids and cause Danny to lose one of his friends. I'd like you two to take a look at my list. She added, handing them her list. It was full of things that they have done that were not considered illegal and can be brought up on some civil court charges. Both Jeremy and Pamela tried to explain themselves, but Sarah shot a glare at them. While I don't necessarily agree with the things you do, I do agree with that. People should enjoy themselves how they should. I let them decide for themselves if they like it or not. And also because you've been annoying me for far too long. She said, glaring at them. The Mansons remember that Sarah and Lucifer were two of the most powerful people in the town, and they didn't like how they handled most things. Meanwhile, Charlie and Emily made it to the circus and spotted the train. They flew over to it before entering it, seeing all the gold, money, jewelry, paintings, etc. that was stolen. There, Charlie said, pointing at the staff. She was about to walk over to grab it before Emily pulled her back, causing a green blast to mess her. Drats. They turned and saw Freak Show, a control Danny, and 3 of the ghosts standing close by. I had a feeling it was getting too easy, Emily said, glaring at Freakshow while also being worried about Danny. "Release our friend, Freakshow!" Charlie shouted, horns appearing on her head. "He's not your puppet," Emily added, having the eyes on her halo and chest appear. "Sorry, girls. But it's time to take my leave. A shame anyone who might help you is busy enjoying my free show." Freakshow laughed, making Charlie's and Emily's eyes widen in surprise. Back in the tent, the only ghost that didn't travel with the group appeared and set out her tattoos to keep the humans busy as her boss made his getaway. "Ghosts!" Jack and Maddie shouted, pulling out their weapons. Lucifer just looks unimpressed as Sarah notices the Mansons trying to leave, only to see a brick wall placed in front of the tent. "We're trapped," Jeremy said, surprised. "Okay, that's objectionable, immoral, and obnoxious," Pamela said, writing on her chipboard. Sarah could only facepalm herself. These people were unbelievable. Their lives are in danger and this is more important. Sarah thought as Lucifer rolled his eyes. They really took my gift for granted, he thought. Tucker and Sam made it to the circus as well, Sam having snuck out with Tucker trying to stop her. They saw the train leave and noticed Charlie and Emily fighting on top of the train, keeping the three ghosts off them while also making sure not to hurt Danny. "We have to jump," Sam said, shocking Tucker. "You crazy?" "I can't jump," Tucker said. "And I can't abandon Danny," Sam said. They held hands and jumped. They landed on the train before Sam spoke again. "Plus, I'll never hear the end of it if my parents learn they're right about him being evil," she added. "What about Charlie and Emily?" Tucker asked. Sam didn't say anything. She just got up and started to head for the group. Tucker stood, shaking his head. Back inside the tent, Jack and Maddie were dealing with the ghosts with a surprisingly incredible display of acrobatics, especially Jack. Lucifer, himself, looked very impressed with them. "Not bad you two, I almost wished I had you two for my circus," he praised. "Thanks, Lucy, but we're fine with what we got going for us," Jack said, politely turning the idea down. "No harm, Jack," Lucifer said, smiling. Maddie flipped back and landed in front of the Mansons, still upset about one comment they had made before. "I ask you once again, you got a problem with jumpsuits?" she shouted, making them back away. They bumped into Sarah, who was standing behind them with her arms crossed and having a smug look on her face. "Well, do you?" Sarah asked them. "Oh, shut up," Pamela said, pouting. Sarah knew she was an angel and she should be above petty things, but with how the Mansons have been treating things, and annoying her, she decided that she earned this. Back on the train, Charlie and Emily knocked away the big ghost before they both ducked under the smaller ghosts. When Danny came to attack them, both girls dodged his attacks while trying to talk to him. "Danny, come on. Stop. Don't listen to him," Charlie said, flipping backward from his punch. "You promised us that you would never go back to being this person," Emily added, barely dodging a kick. "You know what, why fight? You two have such potential. I'd be more than willing to offer you a place in my circus." Not many could say they have an actual demon and angel for an attraction. Freakshow said, stopping the fight a bit. "No thanks, Cueball. So, how about just give up? You can't beat us even with Danny on your side," Emily said, still not liking how Danny was still under control. "And besides, it's not like you have anything that could actually hurt us," Charlie said. "True, but that doesn't mean I didn't come prepared," Freakshow said, pulling something out of his pocket and tossing it at Charlie, who caught it. "A cross? Do I look like a vampire to you?" she asked. "Oh, I'm fully aware of what you are," Freakshow said before Charlie felt her hands burn. "Ah. Ow wow wow. Hothathothot," Charlie shouted, throwing it away from her. Charlie's cries of pain made Danny flinch a bit but didn't break. "Charlie," Emily said, checking on her friend. Demons have a high negative reaction to any holy. While I don't get why an angel would help a demon, you two are no match for me. Freakshow said. You. In case you haven't noticed, you barely did anything. All the things you stole, it was the work of the ghosts. Your show, the performance, the fight, all done by them. Not you. Emily pointed out, making Freakshow growl. I'm the ringleader of the circus. The ringleader only hosts the show. Not take part in it. He shouted. Not what my dad did during his circus days, Charlie said, glaring. What are you waiting for? Go. Freakshow shouted, making the ghosts attack the girls. Danny, stop. Everyone froze as they turned to see Sam and Tucker running up, surprising Charlie and Emily. Sam. What are you doing here? Emily asked. I thought we told you to stay out of this. Charlie added. Sam just kept speaking to Danny, trying to break him free of his control. Danny, it's us, Tucker and Sam. We're your friends, remember? She said. Sam, did you really just say that? Tucker asked, raising an eyebrow. Sam just groans before Danny smirks. I'm a ghost. I don't have friends. He said, getting ready to attack them. But you do. Them. Sam said, pointing to Charlie and Emily. Danny looks at them, confused. Don't you remember? They saved your life. They turned you from a dark road that you were on because of Dash. They made you see the true light, and that's the light I want you to be on too. Sam said. Danny looks back at the two, feeling his memories breaking through the control, making him remember everything that Charlie and Emily did for him. I. He said, struggling. Don't waste your breath, children. He's under my control now. Freakshow said, holding up his staff. You sick bastard. How dare take away their free will? Emily shouted as Charlie growled. Sorry, I missed the part about caring about your opinion. Now stop standing around and finish them. Freakshow shouted. Tucker notices a scaffolding approaching and gets an idea. Maybe you should try holding that thing up a little higher. He said. Freakshow did so, only for it to be knocked out of his hand. Everyone jumped for it, only for the staff to hit off of Tucker's head and into Danny's hands. Way to go, man. Now gimme 5. Tucker said, walking up. Tucker, wait. He might still be. Charlie tried to warn, but Danny blasted Tucker into the bigger ghost. Brainwashed. Charlie groans. The two got ready to help them before the other two ghosts pinned them to the train. Very good, drone. Now, bring me my staff. Come on, bring it. Freakshow said, treating Danny like he was a dog. Jesus, you are sick in the head, Charlie said, trying to break free. Sam noticed that Danny was still holding the staff and quickly acted. Fight it, Danny. He's not holding the crystal ball anymore, you are. She said, making Danny look at it. Freakshow growls and tosses Sam aside, almost making her fall off. Silence. Obey me, ghost. Give me my staff. Come on. He said, but Danny didn't move. I saw you up on that high wire, you were fighting him the whole time. Fight him now, Danny. You're not just a ghost. Fight him. Sam said. Quiet. I need to think. Danny said, lost on everything. Well, it's the crystal ball or your friends, Danny, Sam said as the train went over a bridge. The ones who saved you and who have been with you and actually supported you have always been by your side. Shouldn't they matter more? Sam added, surprising everyone. Danny looks at her, shocked before Sam did something that was very unlike her. I can't believe I'm doing this. She said before willingly jumping off the train. Sam! Tucker shouted, shocked. No. Charlie and Emily shouted, trying to get the ghosts off them. Danny just froze before jumping after her, dropping the staff. Sam! He shouted, flying after her. He was able to catch her as the staff crystal ball was destroyed when it hit the bottom, making Danny's eyes fade back to green. Danny, you did it. Are you okay? Sam said before asking. I think so. It's all a blur. Danny said, still clearing his head. I did some pretty bad things, did I? Danny asked, feeling like he broke a promise. Nothing you can't fix. Come on, we need to save Tucker, Charlie, and Emily. Sam said. I must still be out of it. Did you just say we should save Charlie and Emily? Danny asked, shocked. Yes, I did. And it hurt saying that. Sam said. Back on the train, the effects of the staff slowly start to wear off, making the three ghosts notice that they weren't under control and more. Huh? Where are we? Are we free? Are we finally free? They soon released the three, making Charlie and Emily growl at Freakshow. You son of a b! Charlie shouted, fire forming in her hands. God damn you! Emily added, looking ready to tear him a new one. Freakshow backs away, knowing that he lost his edge. Danny lands between Charlie and Emily, setting Sam down. He glares at Freakshow, knowing that he was the reason for breaking his promise. Hey, Freakshow. I know the circus is meant to wow and entertain, but I'm curious, have you ever considered a good comedy routine to add to your act? 'Cause I've got a good punchline for you. Charlie said before she and Emily uppercut him. He didn't fly far as he was grabbed and taken inside the train, with Danny taking everyone else. Freakshow found himself lying on the floor with the group behind him, each of them glaring at him. Okay, when I called you, minions, it was really a term of endearment like, I love my minions, ... Freakshow tried. Pathetic, Emily said, glaring. Zip it, you sicko. Charlie shouted, ready to hurt him. Now hold on. You can't kill. You're an angel. Thou shalt not kill is one of your commandments. How about we make a deal, demon girl? You would want a soul like mine, right? Freakshow tired again. Sorry, we missed the part about caring about your opinion. The girls said, repeating what he told them. You wanted a big haul. Try this on for size. Danny said, blasting the boxes/bags of gold/money above Freakshow and causing them to fall on him. Gah. Oh. That. Quite. Smarted. Freakshow groans as he was buried under his loot. Charlie and Emily then turn and hug Danny, glad to have the real him back. Danny returns the hugs, happy that Charlie and Emily kept fighting for him. Soon they heard the police and got the train to stop. Danny turned to the three ghosts, knowing they were as much victims as himself. So, what do you say we stick around and explain to the cops we were being controlled by an evil ringmaster? He asked. They just phase out of the train, making Danny sigh. You're welcome. Ingrates. Emily said, upset. You know, I had a feeling that was their answer, Danny said, sighing. Acting quickly, Danny, Charlie, and Emily grabbed Tucker and Sam and phased out of the train themselves, just missing seeing Freakshow getting arrested. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 11. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.